In the ancient kingdom of Arendelle, where mountains rose like giants from the earth and golden fields danced with the wind, the legend spoke of a rare breed of falcon birds, whose wings shimmered like silver and whose hearts beat with unmatched courage. They said these falcons flew faster than storms and higher than the tallest clouds. Among them lived one falcon who would one day be known by Aeris. But at the time her story began, she knew nothing of skies, winds, or freedom. She was born inside a golden cage. Her egg had rested on a bed of velvet woven by royal weavers. When she broke out of her shell, the first thing she saw was not the sky, not the sun, not the world she was born to rule, but the ceiling of the king's palace. Gentle hands, soft voices, and warm food welcomed her each day. Servants brushed her feathers every morning and spoke to her with admiration. What a beautiful creature, they often said, far too precious to face the dangers of the wild. Their words were sweet, their touch was kind. And slowly they wrapped her future in comfort. Aeris grew within the palace walls. Never fluttered her wings, never learned to use her talons, never felt the cold rush of wind beneath her. She admired the world from behind her golden bars, watching the free birds glide and soar outside the palace windows. Their shrill cries echoed with joy and adventure. But Aeris believed she didn't need any of that. You do not need to fly, the servants assured her. Everything you want is here. And Aeris, still young and unaware of what she was missing, believed them. Years passed, the little falcon grew calmer, quieter, and softer. Her wings remained folded so long that the muscles weakened. Her legs lost their strength. Even her once sharp eyes grew dim from lack of use. The winds that rushed in through the window no longer excited her, they barely stirred her feathers. Life was safe. Life was comfortable. But it was also shrinking her. Still, she didn't realize it. Not until the day everything changed. The kingdom of Arendelle had always been a peaceful land, protected by its mountains and by the kindness of its king. But peace is a fragile treasure, easily threatened. One morning, black smoke rose from the valley and screams echoed against the hills. A foreign army, the Black Battalion, marched toward the heart of the kingdom, conquering every village in its path. The king's face, always calm and gentle, twisted with fear. He gathered his advisors, soldiers, and commanders. We must send word to the mountain tribes, the general declared. Only they can send reinforcements quickly enough. But the king shook his head, despair filling his eyes. It's too late for riders. The mountain paths are narrow and dangerous, and the enemy blocks the roads. No human can cross those cliffs fast enough. The room fell silent. Then the king's gaze slowly lifted toward the balcony where the golden cage rested. Aeris, sleepy and unaware of the panic around her, turned her cloudy eyes toward him. Aeris, the king whispered, stepping closer. It must be you. The young falcon blinked. She had never seen the king look frightened before. His voice trembled. We need you. The kingdom needs you. You must fly across the mountains and deliver the message. You are our only hope. Aeris froze. Fly. Her heart thundered in her chest. She had never flown. She had never even tried. She looked from her cage to the vast open sky outside the window, a space so wide it terrified her. I don't know how, she whispered in her falcon voice, though humans didn't understand her words. Her trembling wings expressed enough. The king placed his hand on the cage door. You are a falcon. You were born to fly. But Aeris did not believe him. Not truly. Years of comfort had erased her belief in herself. At that moment, a young stable boy stepped forward. His name was Leo, a warm-hearted teenager with messy brown hair and gentle eyes. He had been the one feeding Aeris, talking to her, cleaning her cage almost every day. Unlike others, he treated her as more than decoration. Asterisk, he knelt beside her cage now, speaking softly. Asterisk Aeris, he said, you've had wings all your life. You were made for the sky. It's the only thing that stopped you. It's that you forgot how to use them. Then he slowly opened the cage door. The golden bars, once a symbol of protection, now felt like a prison opening for the first time. Asterisk Aeris looked at the open doorway. The palace balcony lay beyond it, and beyond that, the endless world. Her breath trembled. Her talons curled tightly around her perch. Asterisk, what if I fall? Her heart cried silently. Leo smiled gently, as if he had heard her unspoken fear. Then you will get up. And try again, he whispered. Unless you attempt, you'll never know you were born for this. His words struck something deep inside her, like a memory she never knew she had. Aeris took a step. Asterisk, her nails touched the cold stone of the balcony floor. The air felt strange and overwhelming. She had always been surrounded by warm, controlled air inside her cage, but the wind out here was wild. It brushed her feathers, lifting them gently as if inviting her. She shivered. What if I'm not ready? The fear whispered inside her. Asterisk, but Leo stayed at her side. Readiness doesn't come before the first step, he murmured. It comes after it. Aeris inhaled shakily and spread her wings. They felt heavy. Weak, their feathers quivered as if unsure of themselves. Her muscles trembled and used, untested. She flapped them once. A sharp jolt of pain shot through her chest. She gasped and folded them immediately. Asterisk, I cannot, she cried in despair. But Leo lifted her carefully, holding her like something precious. Yes, you can. Not all at once, but one try at a time. His confidence in her felt stronger than her own. Aeris took another deep breath and unfolded her wings again. The wind rushed beneath them, cold and fierce. She tried once, more flap. Then again flap. Her feet lifted off the ground. Half a second. Then she crashed back down. The impact stung her chest. Her breath hitched. Pain pulsed through her body. Tears welled in her eyes. Asterisk, it hurts. Asterisk, yes, Leo whispered, gently touching her wings. But pain is part of learning. It doesn't mean you stop. So she tried again, and again, and again. Each time she rose a little higher, stayed in the air a little longer. The king watched with growing hope. Soldiers gathered. Servants stood by with hands clasped to their chests. Asterisk Aeris's wings grew stronger with each beating. Muscles awakened inside her that she never knew existed. Her heart pounded with fear, but also with something new, something thrilling. And then, for the first time in her life, she felt weightless. She rose, higher than before. The wind lifted her body. Her wings sliced through the air. She soared a full 5 seconds before landing again. But when she touched the ground, she did not collapse. She did not cry. She looked exhilarated. A spark lit inside her eyes. The spark of recognition. Asterisk, this. Oh, this is who I am. Asterisk, she flapped again, this time with determination instead of fear. Her wings carried her up, up, up until she hovered above the balcony. The king stepped forward. Aeris, he said with pride, your kingdom believes in you. Her heart thundered. She turned to Leo. He nodded. Go. Asterisk, and with one mighty push of her wings, she launched herself upward into the sky she had only ever watched from behind bars. The palace shrank beneath her. The clouds opened above. The wind, for the first time, embraced her like an old friend returning at last. Aeris flew, not far, not yet high. But she flew. Asterisk, her wings screamed in pain. Her chest burned. Fear chased her like a shadow. But she soared across the first ridge of mountains, her beak clenching the tiny message tube tied around her neck. Asterisk. She had taken her first step into the sky, and the sky welcomed her home as she vanished beyond the peaks. The king whispered, Asterisk, comfort takes away purpose. She was born with wings, but comfort made her forget how to fly. Asterisk, but Aeris. Aeris was remembering. Asterisk, her true story had just begun. Aeris flew, but the journey ahead was far from easy. The mountains she had to cross were not simple stone giants. They were walls of icy wind, sharp air, and endless silence. The sky above them did not welcome weak wings. Even the strongest birds often avoided these peaks, for Aeris, who had spent her entire life inside. A golden cage. This sky was a test of every ounce of courage she had ever gathered. Asterisk still. She flew. Asterisk. Her wings shook in the cold. Her breath came in sharp gasps. Her heart raced like a frightened drum. But she did not stop. She remembered Leo's words echoing inside her mind. Asterisk, unless you attempt it, you will never know that you can do it. Asterisk, at times, the clouds thickened so much that she couldn't see her own wings. She felt lost. The wind roared like a wild beast. It pushed her back, trying to throw her into the valleys below. Her chest hurt again, the same burning pain she felt when she fell from the balcony. She wondered if she had made a mistake. Asterisk, what if I'm not meant to do this? She whispered into the storm. Asterisk, but the sky didn't answer. Instead, it demanded more. Asterisk, so she tried to remember the feeling she had when she first lifted off the ground. That spark of hope. That moment of freedom. Asterisk, that heartbeat that said, this is who I am. Asterisk, she kept flying. Asterisk, hours passed. Aeris fought through currents of cruel air, through thick white fog, through cold so deep it felt like it would freeze her heart. Each beat of her wings was a decision. Continue or give up, rise or fall. Become who she was meant to be, or return to the comfort that once trapped her. And every single time she chose to rise. As she flew deeper into the mountains, though the world around her slowly began to change. The violent winds softened, the clouds parted. The golden sunlight touched her wings, warming her feathers, drying her tears. Asterisk, Aeris finally saw the hidden valley that the king had spoken of. A peaceful land surrounded by shimmering waterfalls, tall pine trees, and high cliffs where ancient birds nested. These were the legendary sky guardians, the falcons, whose ancestors had once protected the kingdom. They were powerful, majestic, and free. Aeris had heard stories about them, but she never imagined she would one day meet them. Asterisk, yet now she stood before them, weak, tired, trembling, but brave. Asterisk, one of the elder falcons flew down. His wings were vast, his feathers shining like polished metal. His eyes were deep and fierce eyes that had seen storms Aeris could not imagine. Asterisk, who are you? He asked. Asterisk, Aeris bowed her head. My name is Aeris, she said softly. I come from the king's palace. The kingdom is in danger. We need your help. Asterisk, the elder examined her closely. You are not like the others, he said. Your wings, they look unused. Asterisk, Aeris lowered her eyes in shame. I grew up in a cage, she admitted. I never flew until today. Asterisk, a deep murmur passed through the other falcons. Some looked surprised, some doubtful, some even a little amused. Asterisk, you cross the mountains with wings that have never flown, another guardian asked. Yes, she whispered. How did you manage that? Asterisk, Aeris hesitated, then said, I tried. Asterisk, the elder falcon narrowed his eyes. Many birds try. Few succeed, but you fought storms with no training. You challenged mountains with no experience. You faced the sky with no memory of flight. He paused for a long moment. You may not know this, but courage like yours is rare. Aeris felt her heart swell not with pride, but with relief. Will you help the kingdom? She asked desperately. Asterisk, the elder lifted his head toward the sun, his wings opened. All around him, dozens of falcons spread their feathers, ready to take flight. The sky shimmered with the silver of their wings. Asterisk, we will come, he said. Asterisk, and before Aeris could even breathe out her gratitude, The sky guardians soared into the air fast as arrows, fierce as storms. Aeris joined them, surprised at how quickly her wings responded now. They felt lighter, stronger, alive. She was no longer a bird from a cage. She was a falcon among falcons. The return flight asterisk, the journey back was faster. Aeris now had companions, the greatest flyers in the mountains. They guided her through the winds, shielding her from the harsh air, teaching her how to tilt her wings, how to glide, how to conserve strength. Use the air, a young guardian instructed her. Do not fight the wind, dance with it. Asterisk Aeris listened. She learned. She improved at asterisk by the time they approached the kingdom. She was flying smoother than she ever had. She even passed a few guardians who laughed proudly and said, "There she goes, the falcon who remembers her wings." Asterisk below them, the kingdom looked troubled. Smoke rose from the valley. The Black Army had pushed closer. The people were frightened. The king stood at the tallest tower, looking toward the sky with a desperate heart. Asterisk, and then he saw them. A storm of silver wings. Hope returned to his eyes. Asterisk. The guardians dived into the battlefield with a fury that echoed through the mountains. They were swift. They were sharp. They were unstoppable. The Black Army, shocked and terrified, scattered like leaves in a hurricane. Asterisk Aeris, though smaller and slower than the others, played her role too. She distracted soldiers, carried messages to safe zones, and guided lost villagers to shelters. She wasn't the strongest, but she was brave, and bravery can be louder than fear. Asterisk within hours, the enemy fled the valley. Peace returned. The kingdom was saved. Aeris knew life asterisk when the battle ended. The king ordered the gates of the palace to be opened wide. People gathered around, cheering the sky guardians. But the loudest cheer was for Aeris. Asterisk, she saved us. Asterisk, she brought the guardians. Asterisk, she believed in herself. Asterisk, Leo ran to her and held her gently. "You did it, Aeris," he whispered. "I always knew you could." Asterisk Aeris nuzzled her head against his hand. For the first time, her eyes sparkled not with fear, but with pride. Asterisk, the king approached her, bowed his head, and said, "You reminded us of something important. Comfort is sweet, but it steals our strength. You were born with wings, Aeris, but the cage made you forget them. Yet the moment you tried just once, you remembered who you were." The king no longer wanted her in the cage. He ordered the golden bars to be removed forever. Asterisk, now Aeris lived on the highest roof of the Palissa, place where the wind touched her wings every morning. She woke with the sunrise, flew above the valleys, played with other falcons, and returned at night to watch the stars. Her life was no longer limited by fear. Her world was no longer defined by comfort. Asterisk. Her wings were no longer folded. Asterisk, she was finally who she was born to be. The message for us all, asterisk Aeris. Journey is more than a tale of a bird learning to fly. It is the story of every person who waits for the perfect moment, stays inside their comfort zone, feels unprepared, forgets their potential, or fears taking the first step. The truth is simple. Growth never starts with perfection. It starts with effort. You may feel weak. You may feel scared. Your dreams may feel too far. But nothing changes until you decide to try. You don't need to be ready. You don't need to be perfect. You just need one honest attempt. Because the sky that you think is too high belongs to you. Just like Aeris regained her wings, you will regain your confidence, your courage, your strength. Start today. Asterisk, even a small step can reopen a world you forgot you were meant to explore. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to remember their wings. Stay tuned with Tales by Noxu for more daily motivation.